Trails Less Taken, Episode 1, The Petrograd Soviet, Season 2, War Stories of the Soviets. March 12th of 1917. The date marks the day of the formation of a representative body for the workers and soldiers of the former capital of Imperial Russia, Petrograd. The council body of this movement was formed out of the misery and aggravation of the people, under the guidance of Leon Trotsky, and they were all under the imperial rule of the Tsarist Romanov family, as well as the religious mystic Grigory Rasputin. The movement spread so far and wide across the city among its massive populace, from the peasants of the farmlands to the factory workers of the industrial districts. This was the rise of the people's government body known as the Petrograd Soviet. During this time of the transition from an autocracy to the provisional government, an armored train was making a return to Petrograd for extensive repairs, and at the head of the monstrous behemoth was a young battle-scarred Class OV steam engine, and her name was Olga. "What has the Tsar brought us to?" she says as she pulls into the yards. "He brought our empire to its knees, it's what he's done. A terrible leader he was on the battlefield, and terrible leader he was of the fatherland. Pfft, scattered Yodorga." The young OV was built in 1890 as one of the first class OVs to ever be used by the Russo Imperial Railway. When the Great War broke out after the assassination of the Austro-Hungarian Archduke and his wife, Russia was called in to serve as an ally to the Serbians, but it was ill-prepared to fight in such a war, as the troops were consisted of poorly trained peasant farmers and civilian conscripts. The only thing that kept the Russians from losing ground was a monstrous weapon of war known as the armored train. Which was capable of decimating trench lines from long range, whilst delivering more troops to the front. Olga happened to be one of them. "I just hope they will get us out of this stupid war." "Me too, girl. Me too. I swear, if they say we still have to fight on the front, then I'm going to join the Soviet. I'm with you there, my droga." Olga couldn't agree more. She had lost her right eye from a falling flechette dart from a Hungarian fighter plane attacking them on the front line of Galicia, and she was still suffering from the damage. She was getting tired of all the fighting and was willing to give up altogether. Come on, may as well get her overhaul right now. So she left her armored cars in a siding and rolled through the freight yards, where a bunch of B-class industrial tank engines were working tirelessly. Olga caught sight of one of them, and the tank engine caught sight of her, and began to slowly grind to a halt from exhaustion, while Olga slowly began to slander her. Raspaya Dios. "Hey! Nobody said for you to stop working! Move your lazy bunker back to work!" The B tank engine slowly got back to shunting, but she had a distasteful look in her eyes as soon as she left Olga's sight. "Glupia Krestiani, dust-built engines." Later that night, Olga was in the workshop having her usual light overhaul. One of her sisters, OV-324, also known as Ludmila, rode down alongside her in the other row for her routine inspection, and was shocked to see Olga's battle-scarred eye. "Cristo radi, Olga! The Austros didn't spare you at all, did they?" "I'll be fine, sister. It could have been worse. It could have." "Oh, and did you hear the news, sister?" "What news?" "Turns out members of the Soviet are hunting down the Tsar and his family out west." "Oh, dear. What do you think will happen to them? If you ask me, they'll do the same thing they did to Rasputin. Oh my god, that's horrible. If you ask me, they deserve it. Suddenly, a Tsarist Railway U-Class, numbered 127, rolled into the yard carrying a passenger train from Kiev, in the Ukraine, and was looking rather pleased for some reason. His name was Vladimir, but nobody knew who gave him the name until later. He did look much more proper than most steam engines of the era. Look at you two. Typical freight engines that are trying to be something that they shouldn't. And what makes you so special, Vlad? And what's with the stupid red paintwork? You look like an engine ready to crash into tire wagons. Because, you Krestjane, I'm carrying our nation's future with me. He wishes fiercely at them, but before he left, Olga noticed there was a man sitting in the coach he was pulling, and just before he passed her eye, she heard him say a quote that will go down in the history books forever. Sometimes history needs a push. Vladimir soon disappeared with the stranger into the distance. Those words the man spoke would stick to Olga for a long time. A few days later, Olga had finished her light overall, and a steel plate was serving as a patch to cover her eye. Her commanding officer, Commander Georgy Makarov, came to see her off to the front again, and you could see she was not in the best mood for it. We'll be returning to the Carpathians tomorrow, so you may as well enjoy the free time you have now while you still can, number 165. Yes, sir. So Olga went off to the main industrial yard for a top-up on coal and water, as well as getting some of her armored plates replaced. As she neared the yards, she heard a loud whistle, and then the sound of someone screaming to her. "Під острожнем замерять!" The tank engine was trying to stop a runaway train that one of the other industrials lost control of, and was heading straight for Olga. Huh? Oh, что за? There was an impact, and the coal trucks derailed onto the gravel in the yard. Olga soon recognized that the tank engine was the same one she chastised earlier, and immediately began to rebuke her once more. You idiot! What the hell are you doing letting stuff like this happen? Never mind, it's just typical for you industrials to mess everything up as usual, and suck this! You have no idea what you're talking about, you know. Tell me what you think happened. Well, from the looks, you were being clumsy and letting your truck slip away from your couplings. You are so wrong. These trucks went out of control because of the brakes had broken on them while they were being loaded in the hump yard. You never give any of us industrials a break, do you, Zamierets? Or should I say Olga? What makes you think you deserve those names? Oh? And what's your name supposed to be? Oh wait, you don't have one! So unless you want to waste my time with your idiocy, I'll report this to Anastasia! It's Anastasia! The armored engine was shocked at the way the tank engine responded, but before she could say anything, the driver took it back to the sheds before any more damage could be done. Anastasia, on the other hand, began to weep in sorrow and repeat her name as a message that she is something more than what she is now. It's Anastasia. Anastasia. Eventually, Anastasia left to the confines of her shed, while somewhere else in the city the seed of revolution was beginning to come alight. The end.
Сух над снегом черновыл, горечь летняя, точно точно в сказке жил-да-был.